Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of our podcasts from the Future Ready Librarian podcast series, Leading from the Library. I am so thrilled today to welcome someone that I follow and get so inspired by on Twitter. And this is the first time that we're actually meeting. And so we're both really super excited. But this is my friend, Yael, and she is going to tell us today and inspire us about how she uses just great stream experiences in her library and books. And she just does so many things to get her elementary kids just so inspired and excited about reading. So welcome to our show.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. You're my inspiration.
I'm so excited that you're here. And so let's just start by having you introduce yourself and tell us where you're at and just a little bit about your job.
Sure. So I am Yael Gogolev. I am the school library media specialist for the East Williston School District here on Long Island, New York. We're a relatively small school district, and I am the librarian for the elementary school, and we are kindergarten to fourth grade. We have a middle school and a high school, but we're a relatively small, adorable, awesome district.
Oh, that's so great. I know. Is it getting a little chilly there?
Yeah, it's actually in the 40s today, but it's sunny, so we're hopeful.
Yeah, that's how it is today here. We woke up and there was a little frost. And so yeah. It's that time of year. I know. Yeah. Well, as I said, I just love seeing what you do on Twitter. And I think that the great things you can tell that your kids are just so excited about how you're using, especially great books for these experiences. And so just tell everyone, I think that the thing too is one question that I always have is, before you became a librarian, were you a classroom teacher? Do you have a passion for, stream and STEAM and art? I think that's always so interesting too, just to our listeners.
So growing up, I always loved to read. I'm obsessed with reading. I love reading books. It takes you to another world. And growing up, I remember going to the library in school, and it was the traditional, what people used to think of librarians as, with the bun and glasses maybe, and they used to shush you all the time. And I loved reading, so it didn't bother me, but I noticed not many other kids did like libraries so much as their favorite subject. So growing up, that kind of bothered me. I wanted to change that mindset. And I've always loved working with kids. And I happily listened to my mother, because she told me many years ago, she's like, you love working with kids and you love reading, so why don't you try being a school librarian? And I kept thinking back to the librarian that I used to have, and I'm like, I don't know. She's like, no, look into it. And I did. And since then, I absolutely love it. I love it. And every day strive to make library one of the kids' favorite subjects. I don't want them to come in here and just be shushed. I like it when they're noisy to a degree. I want them happy. I want them, looking for books. I want them excited to come to library, and I rarely ever shush them.
I love it. Yeah. I just love it. And so do your kids come to see you every week when they're doing these fun activities?
Yeah, so our schedule is, we have a few other specials. We have gym and art and music, and the kids, we're on a 6-day cycle. So kids have library every 6 days for about 45 minutes. And we have over 30 classes. So it's about 5 classes a day for 45 minutes, kindergarten through fourth grade. And I'm so happy that lately I've noticed that there's a trend going towards inserting the R in STEAM, because it used to be just STEM, and then they added the A for art. And then lately I'm so excited that they're adding the R, because I think it's so important to add reading and literature into STEAM. So that's what I try to do with the kids.
Yeah, I think it is too. Well, and I love seeing how you use books when you are, tying in the STEAM activities. And I think as a librarian, when I see a new book, I'm sure we're just alike. I'll see a book and then I'll think oh, there'd be a great activity, or I could use PebbleGo to do a little background knowledge, or, whatever might work in. And it makes, I think, things fall into place too when we're thinking that way, because it gives not only like these great books that, some purpose and like some of that background that the kids can build, but it's so fun for us as librarians to be able then to have those type of lessons.
I love it. Like I've noticed also that lately in the last few years, there's a big push to have amazing nonfiction picture books come out, because I remember years ago wasn't really like the nonfiction section. The books weren't that inspiring to the kids, but lately there's such great ones coming out. Like off the top of my head, I can think of, there's one that I want to try with my students. There's a story about, I think, the man that created this Slinkies.
Yeah.
I forgot that name. It's on my desk actually, and I can't wait to try it with third and fourth graders, because then you tie in nonfiction biographies that actually get off the shelves and don't collect dust, and then you tie it into something fun that relates to the kids, which is Slinkies. They all know about Slinkies. So I love stuff like that. Or this whole week we've done the Balloons Over Broadway, which I love that story. And we actually, inspired by you, Shannon, we created a Thanksgiving Day parade with the little Ozbots, and the kids loved it. And yet one of the classes yesterday, a student out of nowhere, they were so excited. The student said, "Miss G, I love you." I was like, yes, this is what I'm looking for the kids to love coming to the library and to love reading, because then they'll check out the books that we tell them about and we inspire them.
Yeah, and I think that it's so great too, because it hooks them into not only like loving that book, but then like when they see something by the other author, or they see illustrations, or they know like a certain publisher, like it's really great, because then it kind of makes them, excited, not just about that book, but about finding like even more and more books. And I love that you said that about like nonfiction too, because I do find that my kids love nonfiction. And sometimes in the past, it has been really hard to find like those, great books that aren't only like informational, but that are just put together so beautifully and even tell a great story. And this week, Balloons Over Broadway, for example, we did that for 3 weeks by researching the Macy's Day Parade and going on little field trips, using the goggles. And it's just so fun to be able to just extend that learning.
It's amazing. Even a few weeks ago, during Halloween, I remembered there was a book, a nonfiction one that rarely comes off my shelf. It's called I'm Trying to Love Spiders. And it takes the idea of giving the information to the kids, the facts about spiders, but in a funny way. It was really a funny book. So I read it to my fourth graders. They've never even heard of the book or would have even glanced at it off the shelves. And then we did, with yarn, we made like all kinds of string art, like witch's broom and all this. And it traveled, I guess word traveled throughout the school, because I had second graders and first graders pop into the library and say, "Miss G, do you have any more of that orange string you gave out?" And I'm like, "How did you hear about it?" "Oh, my sister, my brother told me about it, or somebody on the bus." So I kept giving out string, and I had to stand there and show the kids how to do it. But that took a book that wouldn't have, been checked out at all, off the shelves, and the kids loved it. And it gave them the information about spiders that they wouldn't have.
That's so awesome. I know, that's the best part. I always love seeing like what you put on Twitter and how you're in these books. And so it's just so fun. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So what do you have planned for December? Anything right now in your head?
I want to honestly try taking pipe cleaners, making them into like snowflake shapes and doing the salt crystals. I want to try that, because we actually, for the fall now, I did it with the first graders. They took, I printed out a template of leaves, and I had them just use glue. They were shocked to use glue to outline the leaves, and then I sprinkled salt on it, and then I let them watercolor paint it. And the kids didn't know that you could use salt to paint, and then I explained to them, because the salt dries out the water in the watercolor paint. And I had a student go around and explain to the other kids that. He's like, "Well, Miss G said, and I'm like, "Yes." Like, they were so shocked. What, we have to paint over the salt and the glue, but our brush. And I'm like, "Don't worry about it." Yeah. So like using like amazing things that they wouldn't have thought of: pipe cleaners, pine cones, painting we paint with forks. We even paint with forks. So like just trying a lot of fun stuff for them in
Yeah.
the winter that's coming.
And it's great because you're tying in, that science and technology and engineering. Like in my head, I'm constantly thinking that, like, okay, what? And I think that's what makes our jobs so much fun is that, really we have this whole world like open to whatever ideas we want to bring. And I love this time of year too, like you said, winter and like the book Snowflake Bentley and all the things you can do online and with snowflakes. And it's just so meaningful, I think. And these are the things that kids will remember. Like they'll remember, painting their leaf, with the salt. And I mean, those are the things that will stick out in their heads. And
I love it. I love it, Shannon, because you know what? I don't find like that we're just library. I like the part that we're information specialists. So like we're everything, I feel like, in the library. We're giving kids information, but to make it in a fun way. And I know that worksheets and assessments need to happen, but I kind of think it should be left in the classroom, and we do more than that. We supplement and we go above and beyond.
Yeah.
I know that it's necessary to assess if the kids, but the way I assess it is if I have a student come to me a few days later and tell me, oh, Ms. Gogolev, you read to us the first book of the Zoe and Zafra series, and you did all these dragon activities with us and glow in the dark activities and all that. And my mom just ordered me the rest of the set. And I'm like, okay, that's my assessment.
Yeah.
The kids loved it. Or they come to me after vacation and say, oh, Miss G, you read us this story and I had mom take out more books from the library, or I had dad read to me. So that's how I assess if the kids love it. Because that's how I want them to remember the books, not the worksheets that I make them do and the quizzes. I do that sometimes, but I make the quizzes least fun. We do Kahoot, we do look at all that activity, like to make it more fun and alive for them, to materialize the books to them so they'll remember that my librarian in fourth grade or in kindergarten did so and so, and that's why I love that book.
Oh, those experiences. You're giving them so many great things. I love that.
Inspired by you as well. We're actually we subscribe to the Merge Cube, and I can't wait to try it with them. I'm so excited to try it. So
yeah, the kids love that.
Yeah, to try technology and reading like all kinds of subjects that we have, like taking them outside on scavenger hunts after we read a great book, or using various knickknacks, all kinds of materials that they never would have thought to use to paint with it. Or to try activities. So that's what I try to do, make it alive.
Oh, yeah, I love that. They're so lucky to have you. And your teachers, I'm sure, are so inspired too by all the great things that you're doing. And, just those little, like, also, hints that the teachers can see and little sparks from their kids that will make them even do more of like the stream and steam within their classrooms too. And so I think that is, they're really lucky with that too, because they get to have that collaboration and see those things.
We're very lucky here because we have amazing teachers and we collaborate all the time. We share information. The library actually is situated we have an innovation lab now, and we have an innovation STEM teacher. He's amazing. And to have the two of us here in the same area, it's like bouncing off ideas, and you see the sparks. You see our sparks, and it's so wonderful. And I also, inspired by you, share so much information, the choice boards or resources, or just anything I'm hearing about that is happening in other schools. I right away do a blast email to everybody. So you don't have to just be the traditional library where the librarian stays in the library. It should be more than that.
Everywhere. Yes. I love that. Oh, you
inspired me, Shannon.
Oh, I'm so glad. And you inspire me too. I'm so happy that you were on our show, and just tell everybody where they can follow you and if there's anything that you want to share, so they can then get all these ideas like I do from you too.
I honestly love to tweet. Sometimes maybe I tweet a bit too much, but it's just my excitement of sharing the kids' excitement. That's who I do it for, the children. So you can follow me on Twitter. It's the @symbol, Yael, lowercase dash Gogolev. So Yael Gogolev on Twitter. And I tweet all day. I just get excited.
Yeah, she's awesome on Twitter. You guys have to follow her. And
Thank you, Shannon.
I'm so grateful that you were on today, my friend. And I
Thank you
can't wait to see what
inviting me.
you do this winter. So thank you so much for being on. And a
Thank
big
you,
thank
Shannon.
yes, you're welcome. And a big
Have
thanks
a
to
good
all of
holiday.
our listeners.
Yes,
And
thank you, everybody.
yes, and especially to our friends at Follett. Thank you for sponsoring our podcast series.
Oh, they're wonderful. Love Follett. Great company.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much, my
Shannon.
friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for the Future Ready Librarian podcast, Leading from the Library. I would like to also thank our sponsor, Follett Learning, for their amazing continued support.